Congressman, I think I was calling you all kind of positions this morning, but we're just grateful to have you in the house.
Thank you very, very much. Now, I don't know that this being back for this church, but thank you very, very much, Mr. Harris. Thank you. I told them this morning that I had been doing a lot of virtual worshiping of late, and I've seen a lot of incidents of various churches worshiping in various different ways, parking lots, flatbed trucks. I've seen all of that. But I had not participated in one until this morning. And so thank you so much for having me this morning. And thank you all so much for being here this afternoon. Now, as I have mentioned, I can't remember where all, this is my 5th or 6th event today. And I may have mentioned this to some of you all earlier, but I was born and raised in a hospital. Though I get a little bit nervous when I come up to the pulpit, that's why I'm walking behind here. Because when I was growing up, my father, of course, was my pastor. And my dad was an interesting guy who believed very strongly, and he would say it all the time, in leading by precept and example. His whole thing was, it is one thing to enunciate a precept, it's something else to be an example of that which you speak. And so he would spend a lot of time setting up things. My brothers, I had 2 brothers growing up, and the 3 of us would not know what was next. We didn't pay any attention. My dad would just create circumstances so he could teach a lesson. And one of those that I remember very vividly, wrote about it in my book, was he had gardens all over the neighborhood. Anytime there was a vacant lot, my dad got permission from the owners and he would plant a garden. We hated that because we had to go and reap all the bubble beans and the collard greens, and you had to spray it for them bugs and all that stuff. So we hated it. But that was our chore. And so we would work with him in the garden, and then we would take a break. So one weekend, my dad came time for the break. He took the 3 of us with him into the house, sat down around the table, and he gave an apple to me, and an apple to John, an apple to Charles, and said, now boys, I want you all to share this apple. And there was always an argument because we would always want to be the one that cut the apple. Because we kind of figured if I cut this apple, I'm going to get a bigger half than my brother. And he did that for several days. And finally, after the arguments, he called us in one day, he did after James, you cut, and John will choose. I learned how to cut an apple in half. And you could put a micrometer on it. And you would not be able to tell the difference. But it taught me a lesson in sharing. Taught me a lesson that I still hold on today. And as part of what I do when I travel around the country, looking at people who want to pursue public service, I look and I listen. And I want to know if this person can cut it out. And you need to find people to send to Washington who can sit down and turn their one vote into 218. And we're at a very close place in this country. This country is teetering on edge. Now, I didn't follow my father into the ministry. I decided to pursue a different course. I I used to teach history. I still study it every day. There's not a day goes by. I already every day look up a historical fact to see whether or not it can be instructive for me in something today. I do that because I know one thing that I've learned. Anything that's happened before can happen again. And we know what happened in this country after Reconstruction. I'm not the first African American to serve from South Carolina in the United States Congress. I'm the ninth president. Those constitutions, those Supreme Courts pushed us into second-class citizenship. And there are those who are wishing to do the same today. And that's why when they handed me that mic back in January of 2020, and I said to the world that I thought that the best person to break that right foot drift was Joe Biden. A lot of people call me some nasty names. Oh yeah. I got 3 daughters and they follow everything on social media. I don't follow that stuff, but they do. And they call their daddy and tell them what people are saying about them. And they may be aware of all that people are saying. But you know what? Now people look back and says Joe Biden was the only one who could have get rid of Trump.
That's right. That's right.
And he got rid of him. He got rid of him. You showed up at the polls, people all over this country showed up at the polls. Now you got to give him some help. One president can't do it all. He got to get 218 votes in the House of Representatives. And he needs somebody there who will work with him.
All right.
We need somebody from the 11th district here in Ohio who will work with Joe Biden. Somebody who believes in this agenda that he's putting forward, not somebody that is going to insult the president.
Come on now.
He is still the president. And I don't care what law you pass in the House or the Senate, it can't become law until the president signs it.
All right. Come on.
So send somebody who can get the president's signature.
That's right.
When
That's
it
right.
comes time to do something for the 11th Congressional District.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
My job as House Majority Whip is to count the votes.
All right.
And I need somebody I can count on.
Come on.
When it comes time to do what's necessary to do for this Congressional District. That's why I'm here. I'm here, and I was here yesterday to ask you to do what's necessary starting now. You can go to the polls up at the 5 o'clock today.
Starting now.
If you have not done it yet, go today.
Starting now.
If you can't get there today, then don't let sundown Tuesday come and you have not done it.
Starting now.
Growing up with the pastors, I believe in prayer. My dad used to tell me all the time, son, you pray for good health and strength. And the Lord gives you some modicum of both. Get up off your knees and go to work.
Yeah.
My dad didn't get that off. It's right there in the 7th chapter. If your brother or sister come to you hungry or naked, it's not enough to tell them go in faith. You feed them. And you clothe them. Because faith without works is dead. So you can express the faith.
Come on.
But if you want to get anything done, it must be accompanied with work.
With work. With work.
So the good Lord gives you strength. Use some of that strength to walk to the polls and do the work. If you do the work, He'll bless you with more good health.
Got to do the work.
So you can keep on working to make this world a better place.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person Shontel Brown is. That's the kind of person she has been in all of her service. That's the kind of person you can look to the future. We'll always sit outside. best way to tell future performance is look at past behavior. I don't know what a person will do. Look at what he or she has done.
All right.
And when you look at her record, you know deep down inside, you encounter her. Go to Washington.
Yeah.
Work with the people in the Congressional Black Caucus.
Yeah.
Work with the people in the Democratic Caucus.
Yeah.
Work with them in such a way that we can send legislation to this President of the United States that will give us results for the 11th Congressional District. With that, let's get to the polls and get it done.